now know the identities of the two people after an apparent murder-suicide at Baptist Health Brookwood Hospital. 24-year-old Precious Alicia Janae Johnson was a patient in the Women's Center when she was shot multiple times. 19-year-old Kenneth Terry Jr. was a visitor who died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Today we're going to be in Birmingham, Alabama at the Baptist Health Brookwood speaking about a disturbing tragedy that took place inside of the Women's Medical Center on March 1st, 2026. What began as a joyous occasion for two young people anticipating the arrival of their little girl turned into a nightmare just 48 hours after her birth. Behind the doors of the postpartum unit, where the rooms are filled with new babies and their little cries, gunshots echo down the hall, leaving medical workers and patients scared for their lives. Law officials quickly arrived at the mother and baby unit on the 5th floor, and when they reached the room of a 24-year-old new mom, they discovered a gruesome crime scene. 24-year-old Precious Johnson was born September 11, 2001, the very day America changed forever after the worst attack on U.S. soil. As terror that day was spreading across the country, Precious' mother was excited about the arrival of her little mini-me, who would end up being her only daughter. Raised up outside of Atlanta, Precious' paternal grandmother recalls her birth saying, "I remember the day you were born. You are a true miracle, and the world is a much better place because you're in it. On such a tragic day, you are a miracle, and that's why your name is Precious, because you are precious." Coming up, she looked to have a good childhood, and her mother always made sure she wanted for nothing. Like any other family, things were not always easy, and her mother did her best as a single mom. Her mom would eventually find new love, and when Precious was around 14, her mother married her now husband of 10 years. By the time she graduated high school in 2019, she had plans to go into the Air Force, possibly taking a chapter out of her stepdad's book, who also served in the Army. Precious also attended Atlanta Technical College for medical and clinical assistant, but it's unclear if she finished out school there. Life was going good for the young adult, and she was pursuing her dreams, making her mother proud of the woman she was becoming. On her 20th birthday, her mother said, screaming, "Happy 20th birthday to my beautiful 9/11 blessing, my daughter. On your special day, I wish you nothing less than for Jesus to continue to pour out blessings into your life. You are such an amazing soul." While she was stepping into her 20s, across the state line in Birmingham, Alabama, a teenage boy with a bright future was making big moves to secure his future once he graduated high school. Kenneth Terry Jr. was born June 6, 2006, as his mother's second child and first son. His mother would go on to have 4 more kids after him, and he grew up to have a close bond with all of them, including his siblings on his father's side. Kenneth, who was affectionately called Mr. Big by loved ones, or KT by many others, who I will refer to him as, was his mother's spoiled child coming up. Even though KT's parents split after having him, his dad always remained an active presence in his first son's life and never missed a beat when it came to supporting and raising him. KT as a person was described as a person with great energy and a great sense of humor. Those who truly knew him would speak on how respectable, humble, and funny he was. While attending Midfield High School, he took it upon himself to take advantage of every opportunity for his future. By the time he reached his senior year and before he was even 18 years old, he had successfully completed the Academy of Craft Training to become HVAC certified, and before his completion, he received Employee of the Month in February 2024. His instructor would post, "We're excited that senior Kenneth Terry was selected as the 2024 February Employee of the Month for HVAC at Academy of Craft Training Birmingham. He scored the highest score based on our ACT employability scale this month. Congratulations, we are proud of you." On May 16, 2024, he celebrated completing the training and that very day received a job offer at Trinity Contractors. Even more exciting for his family was his high school graduation, which was the very next day May 17th. He not only had a job offer, but made plans to go into the Army. Another accomplishment he also made before enlisting into the National Guard was obtaining his barber's license. He had multiple options set up for his life to make sure he had a successful future. There was not a person that he met that did not like KT, and he was said to truly have a heart of gold. And anything he put his mind to, he would complete. By February 2025, he had completed basic training, and his loved ones were there to celebrate his major milestone. This moment for KT's father was extra special because KT's sister on his dad's side was also in the Army, and she made sure she was there too to celebrate her brother joining the team. However, sadly, his future in the Army would be short lived because within a year's time, tragedy would strike. Between February 2025 and February 2026, KT would learn he was going to be a dad, get married to Precious Johnson, and anxiously await their little girl's arrival. Now it is not clear how the two met as they share a 5-year age gap, but by all accounts, it looks as though they both served in the Army, so they may have met that way. However, things were not as they appeared, and while most people saw a growing family, there were signs of conflict allegedly bubbling just beneath the surface. Tragically, everything would come to a head for the newly married couple just 2 days after the birth of their little girl. Allegedly, the little girl, who would also receive his last name, who was born on February 27, 2026 at 9:01 p.m., was not his child, and Precious told him sometime after the birth. Now, neither her parents nor his parents have confirmed this. Other people close to KT said that he had not been happy about things that had taken place. One being, she would not allow his family to come to the hospital allegedly. Then, according to one of KT's close friends, he stated, "She literally took all his stuff and left my best friend in the negative," making claims that she drained the bank account on top of other private matters. However, before all that came out, KT was overjoyed with the birth of the little girl he believed to be his, sending multiple pictures to his family group chat and to individual loved ones and friends, even telling his auntie that he was going to be bringing his little girl to get her pictures taken by her a lot. It was definitely clear that he was excited and happy on that Friday. By that Sunday, just 2 days later, he would not only take Precious' life, but he would also take his own life right inside the hospital.
A place meant for care turned into a crime scene. Homewood police are investigating a deadly shooting inside the women's center at Brookwood Hospital. Officers were called just after 9:25 Sunday night on reports of shots fired. When they arrived, they found two people dead. Investigators say it appears to be a domestic murder. The Jefferson County coroner identifies the victim as 24-year-old Precious Johnson of Birmingham, a patient at the hospital, and 19-year-old Kenneth Terry Jr. of Midfield. The coroner says Johnson was shot multiple times, and Terry Jr. died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The hospital was placed on lockdown overnight, lifted Monday morning.
After the news got out about what took place, people did not hold back how they felt. One of KT's uncles said, "For one, he wasn't dealing with any mental health, period. I talked to my nephew every day. He was financially stable because he worked 50 plus hours and he cut hair. He was ready to be a father, was excited about it, and that got took from him. My sister and brother did a great job with him. He graduated, went to the Army, was a diesel mechanic, and even more. He even sent me money when I needed it. Big Daddy will give you anything. Granted, a lot of people were taking advantage of him. He loved that girl and even married her." As far as the paternity, which has not been confirmed or denied, there is a possibility they were waiting on a DNA test and the results came back. See, you can get DNA test results in 24 hours, especially for a paternity and relationship test by paying an extra fee for an express or rush service with a specialized lab. Standard tests do take longer, days to weeks, but expedited options cut this down significantly, sometimes offering same-day processing after samples arrive at the lab, depending on the test type and provider. So there's a possibility that he could have paid for a test that Friday and got the results back and made that dreadful decision to take her life and his life. He also could have gotten a test done before the child was born, and then the results ended up coming in. However, even if the child was not his, I wish that he would have just walked away and chose to get a divorce and leave if that was the case, and just learn from his past mistakes and move forward because he had so much life to live for. And she was young and she had life to live for too as well, besides her being a mom and having a child who definitely didn't deserve to lose her mother. This incident has sparked a massive debate regarding how someone was able to bring a gun into a secure medical facility. Currently in Alabama, there is no security mandates for hospitals, leaving safety protocols up to the individual buildings. In most hospitals in the U.S., the ER has a metal detector, but not the rest of the hospital. But I'm sure there are some hospitals with more in other places. Despite that, he was her husband and he was said to be the child's father when they went to have the child. So he would have been able to get in, and I'm sure he had the bracelet on showing that he was the dad to come and go out of the maternity ward. There was truly no way for no one to know that something like this would have taken place inside of that hospital, and it is very sad and heartbreaking situation. My thoughts and prayers go out to Precious' family because what happened to her should have never taken place. Her life mattered, and now her daughter will never know her mother. Also, extend my thoughts and prayers to all affected by these tragedies. Two people with so much potential, and now they are both gone, and that should not be the case. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to comment your prayers for everyone involved. And also hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.